give you 10% of the difference. Sears Price Match Plus policy. So save yourself a trip and stop into Sears first.
All right, 15 seconds. Hey, don't mess this up.
Oh,
I'm
gee.
joking.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I needed that.
Here we go.
And the best deals are all at your local Sears 27 South in Gaylord. Exclusions apply. See store or Sears.com for Price Match Plus policy details. Sears.
And it is your hometown radio station. It's Eagle 101.5. Good morning. 15 minutes after 9. And we have light snow falling right now. It's going to be sunny this afternoon. The high temperature right about 40 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy down to 25. Then tomorrow, pretty close to 60. Same thing on Sunday, and we'll see more sunshine on the weekend for Sunday. Monday, 60. Tuesday, 60. Wednesday, 70. If you go to snowmancam.com, you can see that there's light snow because there is a live feed on snowmancam.com, and that is right out of Gaylord, Michigan. And Ken Borton is in the studio. This is your website, right, Ken?
Yes, it is. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you. Where is this in Gaylord, or where are we taking these pictures or the video feed?
That's at my home out in Wilderness Valley, which is about 20 minutes southwest of Gaylord, still in Otsego County.
And snowmancam.com has been going on for how long? When did you start this website?
2003 is really when I started the cam, but it really didn't take off until 2006.
And what is the website for? What's it all about?
Well, I originally started it just to show friends and family downstate, which is where I'm from, the weather conditions, my way of kind of rubbing it in about the good snow we have up here for skiing and snowmobiling.
Right. And on the cam, you have, well, you can explain what we have. We have the temperature. Is that a goose?
That is a goose.
And what does that do? It's just for...
I just had the snowman out there, and people thought that was kind of boring, so he needed a friend. So the goose was on my front porch, so I decided to move him over onto cam, and he's become kind of a celebrity here. People from all over the country send me little outfits and things for it, so it's kind of fun.
And that's the gig. This website has really taken off, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. In 2006, EarthCam out of New York somehow found out about me and decided I was one of the top 25 webcams in the world, which absolutely amazed me. And from there, it was picked up by the press really across the country, and it's really taken off since then.
It's been all over the media, ABC, it's been on MSNBC, a long list of credits of national media as well as local media, state media, all over the place. There are links on this as well. And you get about how many hits a day now?
It depends. In the winter time, I mean, I can get as many as up to 15,000, especially after a good snowstorm. But usually it's anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000.
Also, on that website too, you have you list folks that help you support the website and the feeding of the animals and things like that. And you've got a list of people. They're from all over.
Yep, exactly. Literally all over the world when you look through that list. It's just amazing.
Did you even think that this would happen?
No, not at all. I wish I was smart enough to plan something like this.
Now, because the people are checked 15,000 people hit that a day, have you been approached by companies that want to advertise? Is it a moneymaker for you?
Oh, no, absolutely not. The donations go to help support, like you said, the site, help buy the seed, and then whatever's left over we wind up donating to various charities.
So you're not making any money.
No, not at all.
It's a fun thing.
Exactly, it's a fun thing, and I want to keep it that way.
Okay, we've set the table here. This is the website. Now, as your website, again, we can see, there's the snowman and the goose and the temperature, and we can see that, hey, there's some light snow on the floor. And tell us what happened. Some folks were looking at it and they saw some wildlife, some deer, kind of congregating around there, right?
Right, exactly. I'm out in an area that's pretty remote, and there's an awful lot of wildlife, which is part of the appeal of the website. We see everything from fox and coyote and bobcat, deer, turkeys, and of course, birds, squirrels, chipmunks.
Mm-hmm. And you have a bird feeder out there.
Correct.
You're feeding the birds.
Exactly. Yeah, you can kind of see them if you go to the live cam, kind of the upper left-hand portion. You can see
right about there, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
A couple steel mesh
There's
bird
one
feeders.
here. Yeah, about 6 feet up above the ground or so, or
yeah.
more.
Yeah, they're above my head, so probably 6, 7 feet.
Yeah. And folks have seen that and saw deer and reported you to the Department of Natural Resources. We'll let you tell the story because, um, again, we want to lay the groundwork exactly what happened.
Sure. Well, a few years ago, a DNR officer stopped by and said he was following up on a complaint that people have been seeing deer and assuming that I was feeding them. But he came and took a look at my setup there, and he said, well, it was obvious to him that I wasn't feeding the deer. You know, very apologetic, and said sorry, he had to follow up on the complaint, which I understood. And then apparently the complaints continued to come in. You can imagine with thousands of people looking at the site every day, it would take a very, very small percentage of people, you know, misinterpreting what they're seeing and calling complaints. So they did come back out there and ticketed me again, or not again, but ticketed me for the first time. That went to court. He eventually wound up being thrown out. And then a year later, they came back again, ticketed me again, and that's kind of what has resulted in what's taking place right now.
Now, they ticketed you the first time that got thrown out. What was that ticket for? Was it the same thing, a couple of $100, pay the fine and stop? Now, again, it's illegal to bait deer, to feed deer. You can't do that, and there are a number of reasons why. TB and chronic waste disease. Uh, we just don't want to encourage people. The DNR doesn't want people encouraging deer to gather, even though that's their instinct to do that anyway.
Yeah.
So what happened the first time? You said it got thrown out?
Right, exactly. In fact, that issue had to do with the turkey feeders that I had out there. They weren't satisfied. I had a fenced-in area where I was feeding the turkey corn, and part of that being thrown out, I agreed to use official turkey feeders. Well, I decided to not even take that risk, so I didn't put the turkey feeders out. There's been no more corn or anything. I decided just to go back and do my bird feeders. I was told at that time, don't worry, your bird feeders are fine. That'll never be an issue.
So you made adjustments on the turkey feeders and everything was fine. It was okay, we'll throw it out. He complied.
Exactly, right.
Then comes the bird feeder, and now you get another ticket. This happened when?
This happened just before Christmas. It was December 22nd.
So the Department of Natural Resources Environment, DNR at that time, comes out to the house.
Right. Come out to the house and said that, hey, we're getting complaints again about this, and we've got to do something. And again, you know, letting me know that it really wasn't their idea locally, that a lot of this was coming from Lansing. Lansing was getting the complaints and saying, hey, you got to go out there and stop this guy from doing this.
And as stop this guy from doing, in your eyes, was feeding the birds with a bird feeder.
Exactly. I mean, I was just shocked, to say the least. You know, I just couldn't believe it, and it's been a nightmare ever since.
Because everybody, well, not everybody, but northern Michigan, everybody's got a bird feeder.
Sure, exactly.
They're great things. People love their bird feeders.
Yeah, they sure do.
But the DNRE was saying, or at least from looking at the story, they're thinking that too many deer were coming around, whether it's a bird feeder or not. Too many deer are congregating around there, so we got to change what you're doing. Did you change
Sure.
anything at all, or what was the response at that time when they said too many deer are coming around here? We're worried about TB. We're worried about chronic waste disease. You can't have this out here. Here's a ticket for $205 and clean it up.
Right. Yeah, I really didn't change anything after that. I mean, and I wanted to make it clear, too, that I am not anti-baiting law by any means.
Right.
I'm certainly not smarter than the DNR wildlife biologists. If they say you shouldn't be feeding deer, that's great. I'm more than happy to comply and abide by that.
Right.
So again, I just tried to do what I was doing. I was out there cleaning up under the birdseed or any fallen shells and things, just trying to keep it nice, trying to scare off the deer.
And your deer feeders are nothing special. I mean, you probably know people that have the same setup as you have, don't you? As far as how high they are and what their bird feeders are.
Right.
They're not bird feeders / deer feeders, right?
Right. No,
they're just plain old deer bird feeders.
Exactly. And I welcome anybody to come out and see my operations, and you can see these really are nice bird feeders. Like I said, they're steel. They have steel bottom plates. They're wire mesh locking tops, and they do a pretty good job of keeping the deer out of the feeders themselves.
So, and when I had talked to you, and we've been going back on emails a little bit and just following the story, it was like, well, oh boy, if I get a ticket for this and I'm not allowed to have these deer feeders or bird feeders, then the whole state of Michigan, everybody that has a bird feeder could go through the same thing.
Exactly. And that was my reason for going forward. Obviously, this has cost me quite a bit more money than the fine would have been originally just to pay, but I've received some, I mean, just heartbreaking letters, phone calls.